And then I can see, let me see, park security. I can unmute yourself. Look like everybody can do anything besides share their screen. Okay.
Okay, oh, we've got David now. All right, well, we've got 12 people. It's 7:33, so I'm gonna officially call us to order here. So our main agenda item is to elect our new board, and we have people for all 4 positions. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, I'm not good at all the formality and running all these votes. We could just, can we just vote for all 4 of them because they're all unopposed? Let's just do that as, or I guess we can do them one by one. So if somebody wants to, oh, we've got Gloria. If somebody wants to, please don't vote no, but if somebody wants to vote no, we can go ahead. So hold on, let me just flip back. Okay, so for president, we have Chris Liu. Is that how you say your last name?
Yeah, Liu, as in lieu of.
Okay, awesome. Do you want to just quickly introduce yourself and like the 2-minute spiel, and then we'll go ahead and put it up for vote?
Okay, hi, my name's Chris Liu. I'm running for president, and I started volunteering several years ago, and it's become like a progressive disease for me. And I think it is for a lot of people. Like, you know, once you volunteer, you kind of get over that hump where you have that first volunteer position where you have a little bit of responsibility, and then you keep volunteering. And so I'm everybody else on the ballot are volunteers I've volunteered with before. So we kind of came together and said, hey, let's do this, and we thought we'd be able to, you know, continue the good work that you've been doing, and also have a kind of like an excuse to meet for brunch on a weekly basis, and that was kind of the plan. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yeah, welcome, welcome, welcome. You know what? Volunteerism is not dead. I appreciate that. So to hear that this is a volunteer board, I like that. And so you can speak from experience. The whole board can speak from experience when you ask people to volunteer, right? So I appreciate that.
Yeah, I will say, fortunately, the Frost family, you know, the Frost parents are, you know, when we have specific events, they show up in more numbers than I've been able to get people to come to meetings. But it is a great community, and we definitely appreciate being able to pass the torch and have hopefully a very smooth transition. So if you are online and you can use the reaction button, I guess if you can vote with the check yes, if you're voting yes, or the red X for no, that'd be great. And Beth, if you're voting for you and Jim, I don't know if you want to, like, hopefully you're not split, or if you want to put in the chat.
Hey, Chris, this is Pam. I just have a quick question. There's so many elementary schools that come together and meet at Frost. I'm just kind of curious where, which elementary school you guys are from. And hopefully you have, you know, all of us turned over this year. So hopefully you'll have a 7th and 8th grader or be around for a while. So I'm just curious.
Well, so we're from 3 different elementary schools. We all have rising 7th graders, and Karen has a rising 9th grader, so as well as 7th grader. So we all have rising 7th graders.
Excellent.
But is that, I don't know if there's
that was just informational.
It's just informational. It's just good to know that, because all of us are turning over. That sounds like hopefully you guys will be around for a while, and there'll be a lot of good turnover, and that's fantastic for Frost.
Sure, yeah.
All right.
Oh.
Chris, can you go ahead and vote?
Oh, I didn't know that I was supposed to. Okay, sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I think it's Sandra Honeysett. Are you able to vote? I know you couldn't unmute. but are you able to use the reaction button? Okay, well, it looks like we've got 11. So we've got an 11 and 1 abstention. And so that is enough to,
I think I can vote.
oh, perfect.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got, it's not showing there, but if you're voting yes, then we'll go ahead and say it was 12-0 for Chris for president.
Allison, Beth voted, but Beth
Right,
voted,
13, thank you. Well, because she's got Jim with her, yeah. So she's not actually voting twice, but she is.
yeah, sorry, that's what I meant.
Yes, no, thank you very much. So it's 13-0. All right. So if everyone can like undo their vote so we can move on to vice president. Okay, and let me just switch screens. So is it Tarini?
I can introduce myself. Thank you. My name is
Perfect,
Tharni Satyamurthy. And as Chris said, I'm a rising 7th grader. Very excited to be joining the Frost community. We're actually at Daniels Run Elementary right now, but moving into a Frost neighborhood this summer. And I have known the rest of the crew for past several years. As Chris said, we all have kids in baseball, play baseball together through Fairfax Little League. So that's how we got to know one another, and looking forward to contributing to this community.
Excellent, thank you.
Fantastic,
Sorry, I have a
fantastic.
kid who's trying
Welcome,
to-
Tharni. How you doing? Welcome to
Good,
Frost
thank
Middle School. I'm happy that everybody's playing sports. They're back out and about, building those relationships and those connections, and really exploring community. So we really appreciate your willingness to come into the community and be a part of the Frost Middle School family. So again, welcome, Tharni.
Thank you.
All right, and if everyone can go ahead and cast their vote. And
I
I
wanted
think
to
David had-
show, Tharni what is happening at my house. That's the Woodson baseball team down there, eating all the food in my house.
Oh my, eating out of house and home.
All right, and Sandra, do we have, so your vote for whatever reason is not showing here?
It was-
Okay,
Yes, I vote yes. And
Okay.
I tried to vote in the chat. I don't know if you could see it.
oh, okay, maybe it just got buried. Okay, yep, I see it, I'm sorry. All right, so 13-0, we have a vice president, congratulations. All right, treasurer. Elizabeth Holmquist.
That's me. Hello, everyone. Yeah, I go by Liz Holmquist. Like everyone said, I have a rising 7th grader, William, coming from Mantua. Really excited to be working with everybody. And I've never been treasurer before, but I'm looking forward to the challenge. And yeah,
Yep,
eager to.
fortunately, David won't be too far away, so.
Yeah, I already have his number, actually. He and I collaborated on a past volunteer position, so I will be recruiting him to train me, so.
Well, guess what, Liz? It's only money. Don't worry about it. It's only money.
I am a senior analyst, so I feel like I can handle it, so it's all good.
Thank you. All right, if we can go ahead and vote. Okay, and I see the votes in the chat. Thank you for that. Sorry, now I can't see. Oh, there we go. All right, I think okay. Karen, can you go ahead and vote? And Pam,
Did you get mine?
it's not showing up unless, yep. No, I got Karen's. I don't have your, okay, yep.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it went- you
Hold
keep
on,
on
vote.
voting. There we go. Okay,
Sorry.
so I think we're at 13-0. We have a treasurer. Congratulations, Liz. All right, last one. Okay, so this is my friend Karen, who has previous PTA experience. She was the president of the Canterbury Woods PTA when I was vice president. So with that introduction, I'll let Karen introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Karen Lee. I'm actually David Lee's wife, the current treasurer. First of all, I want to say congratulations to Principal Harris for joining that prestigious fraternity. I meant to email you back, but I couldn't find your email address. And we're from Canterbury Woods. I was a past president and worked with Allison, and she was awesome. And so I'm really excited to work this coming year. I have a current 8th grader who will be a 9th grader, but an upcoming 7th grader. So this is going to be a great group. I'm really excited, and I think we're going to do great. And yay, yay for PTA.
Yay. Thank you so much, Karen, for those kind words about the fraternity. I joined Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. It's certainly an honor to be a member of this organization. We're super excited to have you join Frost Middle School on the PTA board. You know what? You kept a family affair. Isn't that something? You know what? That's amazing. I love that. I love that.
Yeah, David only
All
said
right.
great things, so I'm excited.
Yep. All right, David and Karen, can you guys vote for Karen, please? Come on, David. She'll do a good job. There we go.
David,
I had to think about it.
He's a little suspect.
That would be awkward otherwise.
He's a
I
little
know, right?
suspect. He's like, you know what? Let me think about it a little bit.
All right, so with 13-0, we have a secretary. Congratulations, Karen.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Okay, so yay, we elected a new board. That was awesome. So Mr. Harris, if you want to go next, and I misspelled principal, that's awesome, in the draft agenda I circulated. I'm just so excited.
Super excited. You just, your fingers are like this. You're like a little nervous. You're like, oh, we got a full board. So you know what? Those things we don't pay attention to. We have a full board. Everybody's happy. And I guess I'll start there by saying thank you for everybody who chose to volunteer their time, efforts, energy, and hearts to the school community, which is Frost Middle School. As you all well know, the PTA and the school have a critical partnership to support what we needed to get done at Frost. We're under renovation now. We have a lot of things that we're really excited about. And we're going to need the PTA to help us realize some of our vision surrounding what that new school building is going to look like. For example, I have ideas like possibly having a statue of a falcon, either outside of the main entrance, like a substantial size falcon outside of the main entrance, or inside the rotunda, right as people come into the main entrance of the lobby. And I would love to have like a sort of a fund to pay for that, kind of statement piece for years that'll be there for years and years to come. We would love to have like cool paintings around the building, highlighting multiple folks from different cultures around basically a series of murals around the school building. There's a lot of empty wall space, and we would need the PTA support with that. And it goes on and on. I met with a grant writer today, not a grant writer, a grant provider actually, who was part of the Armed Forces AFCEA, I think it is, AFCEA. And they basically provide grants to schools or organizations that focus on STEM. And what does that look like for Frost Middle School? Some of the ideas that I have surrounding that are, how can we get math, science, and the engineering classes to collaborate together to come up with some interdisciplinary projects that students can work on in terms of STEM. In the new library, we're going to have a maker space that's going to be outfitted with all kinds of cool things so kids can just go and create. Thinking about what 8th grade students can do surrounding being creative and innovative, surrounding different ideas. So there's a lot of cool opportunities that we're beginning to think about when it comes to the new building. There are going to be outdoor spaces. You know, those 2 courtyards are going to be usable now. You know, can we furnish those courtyards with things that will make it more welcoming and inviting? Once the school is completely renovated and everything's done, then some of our field spaces and our open spaces will be primed for outdoor eating and seating and used for their brain breaks or recess at the middle school level. So obviously, these are all huge projects that over the past next 2 years or so, well, I say probably 5 years to be more realistic, that we would like the PTA support on. So again, we're super excited about the possibilities of having a new school building and having this continued partnership with the PTA. As far as what's going on in Frost, I think, at least I hope that your students feel supported. They feel calm at school, specifically surrounding the recent event of that public assault that happened on our school grounds. I tried to put in as many mitigating measures as possible to send a signal to the students that that behavior will not be tolerated. I basically did like 4 town halls during lunches the next day and talked about my expectations surrounding behavior and how to stand up to bullies. And I think that, you know, has resonated with the student body. What else is happening? Obviously, we're ordering furniture for the renovation. And we're beginning as an admin team to start planning for next year already. I know it's just May, so we're already starting to plan which teachers will come in the summer, which teachers will we be sending to different conferences to get best practices so we can bring back to Frost Middle School surrounding social and emotional learning, equity, rigor, how to build productive relationships within the school building, and the like. Some of the things that we'll be re-implementing is basically next year, we'll go back to off and away for cell phones during the day, away for the day for cell phones. Because I believe when we had it, you know, parents, students, and teachers alike all liked it. Even the students liked it. I was kind of soft this year because I felt like the students needed that crutch, so to speak, coming out of the pandemic. I didn't want to take essentially their friend away from them coming out of the pandemic. And so, and I have some regrets about that, but just a little bit. I mean, so next year we'll go to away from the day. We'll go back to hard copy agendas because I was like, oh, it wouldn't be cool to have electronic agendas, but you know, students are not that organized. So, you know, some of the cool things you think are nice, just doesn't work. So some of those things are some of the ideas that we'll bring back. And then just trying to have respect for the school building. You know, every classroom is going to be set up basically the same. We're going to try to live in the space a little bit before we start adding extra stuff and trying to get everything that people want to have in the classrooms. So if you hear folks saying, oh, I wish I had this, I wish I had that, you know, it's purposeful. We had to be very conscious of the money that we're spending on the new furniture in the building because we have a fiduciary responsibility to the taxpayers. So I guess, you know, really for me, it's hard to believe that school year is almost over. I mean, it's May now. We have essentially 4 weeks of school. SOL testing will be coming up soon. Frost Middle School students typically do well. And while I have concerns about SOL testing, that doesn't drive me because I think our teachers are doing a great job. When I go into classrooms, students are attentive, they're engaged. And so I feel like if those things are happening, then the scores will take care of themselves even after the pandemic. So, you know, as you also may know, the scores went down because of the pandemic. And there's been a lot of gaps, and we try to do a lot of things to address those gaps through using the ESSER funds. So we have a lot of intervention going on during the school day and after school in both reading and mathematics. And then we'll have sort of like a a final push for intervention surrounding the SOLs for those targeted students that need this extra support these last couple of weeks before the SOL testing starts. So if anybody has any questions, let me know. Thanks again to the new board. Congratulations.
Thank
And
you.
then we'll have to get together. We'll have to schedule a meeting with the new board and Allison and Pam and the current board to kind of talk through. Maybe we'll have like a little luncheon or something and work with Susie on setting that up. If
That
one
sounds
of you guys
good.
can contact Susie, that'd be great.
Sounds great. That's a great idea.
Okay, and I know Trish has a whole house full of people. Did you want to just quickly say a couple words about Teacher Appreciation Week?
Thank you. I think the baseball players are about to break our trampoline. So Teacher Appreciation Week just snuck up on me, but the Frost parents have really come through. So I wasn't sure what the school had planned, and I talked to Susie Morningstar, and we worked out some really quick ideas. So what we're going to be doing tomorrow is, and you guys probably have already seen the Sign Up Genius to come out. We're going to be having a snack table. And that's always really popular with the teachers because the parents bring so many snacks. It lasts for at least 2 days. So we'll have a snack table set up, and I'll go early to help get that set up. And then we also have had a really big turnout in years past with asking for $10 gift cards. Last year we asked for 150, I believe, or 140, and we got like 180. Like, people just bring extra gift cards, so that's wonderful. So it gives teachers more of a chance to get different gift cards. So I create like a little box where they just kind of reach in, twist them all around and pick one out. So it's a surprise to them, surprise to us. Last year we had enough that we didn't just give gift cards to teachers, we gave them to every staff member in the school. So that was wonderful. So I hope that, you know, everybody comes, all the slots are filled in the Sign Up Genius. Every single slot is filled. So hopefully if all those cards show up, we'll have a great turnout like we did last year. So pretty simple, but everybody has really pulled through this year. So thank you so much. And it was a quick turnaround because I've been a little overwhelmed with work and kids and all the other stuff.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, go save your house.
And my apologies for neglecting to recognize parents for the teacher appreciation. We are certainly appreciative. And I'm telling you, the teachers love that snack table. I mean, they sometimes they bring trash back. I say, whoa, guys, you gotta wait, you gotta share the wealth. But it's amazing the love and support that's being shown with that. And the gift cards are certainly a hit as well. So thank you.
See you tomorrow morning.
Yep, thank you. And just generally, we're so appreciative of the teachers and staff at Frost. They really are phenomenal. You know, between 7th and 8th grade, my son has had probably 20 teachers, and they've all been amazing, all made him feel just very welcome and supported. So we're definitely glad to appreciate them this week and all throughout the school year. All right, Pam, do you want to talk about Spirit, where I think we added the lanyard since our last meeting, and we've got yard signs?
Yeah, I've got a couple things. First of all, is Trish still on, or did she?
I think she jumped because she was
Check out.
trying to save her house from the baseball players.
Okay, I'll be there tomorrow morning to help her.
Perfect.
I was going to ask if she's around next year because she has been so amazing. So I was like, oh, please stick around. So I'll catch up with her tomorrow and ask her about it. Mr. Harris, I did want to come back just really quickly, especially since everybody is going to be new next year. Susie and I had talked about, I think all of us have a bunch of stuff that obviously we're going to transition over. In the new school or in the new setup or in the next phase of things, I don't know if it's possible to have like a designated, just even like a small storage room or an area that could just be for PTA stuff in the future, only because it just gets easier to kind of have one spot where everybody, no matter if they're new or not new, has like their own storage for the PTA. So I just didn't know if there was a little spot like that that you could maybe earmark, even in the transition or something. We have that closet in the cafeteria, which is great. But I just didn't know if there was a plan of something like that, where there's an area where the PTA could have a little spot in the future.
Sure, you know, if you reach out to Phil Hudson, he's in charge of the renovation and knows the back of the rooms like the back of his hand. And so maybe you can find like a transitional space if need be, or if there's a permanent space that we can assign to the PTA at this point in time, then we'll certainly do that. So reach
Okay.
out to Mr. Hudson.
Oh, well, we'll do. Okay, I guess the next thing is then going into the spirit wear. Obviously, people like Allison and I or whatever that are leaving, maybe don't need this right away, but especially for the new board that's coming in, that they're just coming into Frost. There's magnets and there's lanyards that are available, and it's on our PT board on our homepage there. We've got it. We also broadcast it in other areas too. So that's available. And then our spirit wear store is Squad Locker. That's available. The information is there on PT board and on our website as well. So that's something that you guys, the new board out of the gate, might want to look for. I've kind of been filling in for the spirit wear person. So that might be one of the first little chair positions you guys try to find, is try to transfer that over to somebody else. But anyway, those are available on PT board. The next thing is the 8th grade yard signs. So we have the order in to Alpha Graphics to do the 8th grade yard signs. Last year, I think we did them as a sort of a donation kind of thing because we were virtual, and it was a really nice thing for people to have some kind of acknowledgement. This year, I think we're doing it as basically to cover the cost of the sign. And we've ordered enough because our budget is kind of tight. We've ordered enough. We've ordered 200 straight out of the gate. And that went out in the PTA email today. And then I'm gonna, Allison, if you can put that on our PTA, the Facebook page.
Yep.
And any of you guys, if you see that, maybe share it in your local, Mantua or Canterbury Woods Facebook page or something like that to kind of get the word out. So we've got 200 straight out of the gate. They do have the year 2022 on it. I was gonna try to see if I could share it, but it's if you go to the home PTA board site, you'll see it right there. You'll see the image of what it looks like. So if it looks like our demand is greater than what we have, we can place another order, a follow-up order, so we can make sure everybody who wants one has one. So anyway, that's the thing that we're working on now. Looking at hopefully, based on the timeline, maybe the middle of May for delivery. And Mr. Harris, I've talked to Susie about just using the front of Frost there for pickup, weekend pickup. And I think she said she thought that was okay to do. And I'll be coordinating that with her once I know a better date for sure. But I think that's all I have right now. And then the last part, which actually isn't on there, but it's fine, is just trying to close up everything with the grants for the teachers that we have outstanding for this year. I'm going to be, we've got more money than I expected at this point with people who haven't submitted their claims. So I'm going to be in touch with everybody, hopefully the end of this week and next week, to try to get those in, because we need to close that out, obviously, of this year's budget before the end of the school year. So I think that's all I have for right now, I think.
Okay, excellent. And I know sometimes PT board can be a little glitchy. So if you've tried to order a yard sign and had trouble, definitely reach out to me. I'm not super tech savvy, but I'll get on the phone with you, and or worst case scenario, I will order for you and we'll figure out the money afterwards. So just let me know about that. And then the other event we have upcoming is 8th grade celebration. It's June 3rd from 6 to 8 at Frost Middle School, and we're planning lots of great events. There's going to be games and dancing, and I think my son came up with having a video game tournament, so we'll see how that all flushes out. So yeah, so and there'll be a lot more information coming on that. Let's see what else. Okay, awesome. Beth has ordered her yard sign. Yeah, sometimes in PT board, I can't get it to pop up the screen to like do the final checkout is the issue I often have. I think we don't have our secretary today, so I think we're going to wait on the March meeting minutes. Unless Pam, I don't know that I've seen them, so
Do you want me to try to pull them up? That might take a second.
let's see. I mean, if you've got them, yeah,
I do, I might just
somehow.
have to.
Otherwise we can wait till June if you don't have them.
I'll tell you what, go on to David, to the treasurer's report.
I
and I'll
think
see
he
if I can
doesn't
pull it.
have, yeah,
Yeah,
David, I think,
I can just, I have a document with some bullet points because I'm way behind
okay.
reconciling for this month, but for some reason I can't share because I think I'm not a host, but I can just speak to them. That's fine.
Oh, that'd be great.
So I'll just give a quick update. The checking account balance as of this morning was 32,600 and change. And as Pam had mentioned, we are still waiting for several folks to claim their reimbursements if they have used their grant monies. So I guess we'll have to push them to do that. I don't know why that's getting delayed. I think last year at this time, there were a lot of requests coming in and I haven't seen anything at all. So hopefully that'll work out. And then our savings account balance is 8,033 and change. That doesn't really move much other than interest. The two items that I wanted to report out regarding the Mardi Gras fundraiser, that netted us just around $1,300.
Oh, that's great.
So that was a good return. And then obviously the most recent event we had, the bingo night fundraiser, we raised just shy of $4,000.
Oh, wow.
And I think Gloria has to submit some receipts still as well. But again, I think we could have done a lot better because I mean, we were all there. I think the cafeteria was not full. And so hopefully the word will get out and this year, maybe next year and the following year, we'll get better turnout. But that was, I think Gloria did a great job with the bingo night. And yeah. Kudos to her.
Yeah, it was a great event. And yeah, I think just the first year after COVID. And again, one of the hard parts about Frost being a 2-year school is you don't have that institutional memory. And so for a lot of people, they just didn't even know that bingo night was like a whole big to do. So we'll just build on all of Gloria's great work. And, and again, I think some of that is offset by the readathon raised a lot of money. So and one of the things we talked about, that Pam and I have talked about, is putting out a rough calendar of events at the beginning of the year so that the membership and the families know what's coming and so they can sort of plan ahead. But yeah, it was a fun event for those of us who were there and it netted money. So that's definitely a win.
I definitely agree with you, Allison. I mean, I think that's just it. People are nervous about COVID and that the cafeteria when years past has been packed full. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So people just don't know. So you just have to drum up a lot of do a lot of marketing in the future so we know it gets back to what it has been traditionally. So I don't think there's going to be an issue with that. It's just a lesson learned. That's all.
Yep. All right, David, anything else on the treasurer's report?
Nope, that's it for me. The next, actually, just one thing. The next meeting in June, hopefully we'll get everything reconciled, including the grants that have been paid out, and we'll have a final budget that we can roll over for next year, minus maybe some straggling checks here and there. But hopefully it'll be very close to the final budget that we can roll over for the new board.
Perfect.
And I like the idea of doing the calendar a lot, because up until this point, I think it's kind of been like an internal kind of calendar that you or I would work on or something, but it helped a lot when Mr. Harris, when Susie, me and you and Allison and Susie met together, and Susie actually handed me the calendar and said, this is the calendar I have from last year. I didn't see that until much later when I got into the file. So that's it would be good to start with that out of the gate. And then there were a couple things that fell off. One of the big things used to be the book fair. We used to always have that in person fall and spring. Huge moneymaker, and it was a huge deal for the library. But that was a chair we didn't need because we were virtual this year, and I know they're hoping to bring that back. We had skate nights, which were huge fundraisers. Nobody was really interested in skating in the time of COVID. So there's a lot of things that kind of fell off. So we'll see, hopefully a lot of stuff comes back. But I even noticed it with the Frost Family Festival. I think COVID has kind of just changed some people where they're just not really interested in being as social as they used to be. But hopefully we'll get back a little bit more back to that. But anyway, I do have the secretary's notes. I am technologically challenged, but I am going to try to do this without my 10th grader. Let's see how this goes.
There should be a little box that says share screen. There you go.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, let me see if I can get it. Cannot, this tab. There we go. Okay. Hopefully you can see this. So Suzanne couldn't be with us. This is the draft March meeting minutes. So if you want to take a second, take a peek at it, see if you have any questions. And then I guess we just need to vote to have the approval for the minutes.
All right. I'm assuming people aren't really reading these too closely, so I will move to approve the minutes. We got a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, and then if folks can just use the reaction button and vote, the yes or no button. And now I can't count because Pam's sharing her screen.
Sorry, Hara, I'm gonna stop sharing.
Yep, no, you're
Hold on.
good.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, it's just, okay. All right, and we've got 11 to 0 to approve, so we are approved. Thank you. All right. Let me just check and make sure we don't have anything else on the agenda. So is there anything, I'll just open it up. I think that was all for what we had on our agenda. I'll open it up if anybody has questions, comments, topics that they want to discuss. You can put it in the chat if you can't unmute. Give everyone a couple minutes to type. All right, well, I'm not seeing anything. And in the past, there's been some question as to whether I could just, oh, here we go. So Beth loves that the cell policy will go back to off and away and hope that that expectation is communicated to the kids early so that they know.
Well, so there's communication that we'll send out in the summer leading up to the school year. So we send that information out like multiple times throughout the summer to let parents know what the policy will be. And then we'll have a presentation to the kids when they come back. And really, I mean, it was when we did it that last year before the pandemic, you would be surprised how many kids say they loved it. It was just like they didn't have to worry about the pressure of not having the latest phone, to worry about anybody bothering on social media. Some kids still had them, but it was so much less usage of it that it was like they just kept it at home. And so it just took away a lot of social pressures, and obviously teachers and parents loved it too. So I'm looking forward to getting back to that. So, and I think there's a possibility the county will even have a county-wide policy that says at the middle school level, phones have to be off and away at all times during the school day. So even if the county doesn't do that, then I'm certainly going to do it.
Excellent. Anything else?
This is David. I have a quick question for Mr. Harris. I'm not sure if you covered this during your principal update, but I've seen a significant uptick in COVID cases recently. I'm just wondering if there's any talk about going back to a mandatory masking or even anything, something more extreme than that.
No talk whatsoever about that. What I may do is I may send out a message to the community and to the staff to consider encourage people wearing masks, but there's been no talk about going back to any mandatory masking. I think if folks who are affected, especially if you're in a situation where there's an outbreak, and even the word outbreak means a little bit something differently now than it used to. It's just making sure those students are strongly encouraged to wear masks. But I'm still awaiting word from the health department about how we should respond, because I know there's a couple classrooms that we're getting close to the number of students that it would be considered an outbreak, and I have to get guidance on what that looks like. But I have to be careful about what I say because I don't want to cause alarm, so even saying that I encourage people to wear masks may cause alarm. So I just have to kind of weigh the health and safety of students and staff versus, causing panic, which I don't want to do. So at this point in time, no, the county has not talked about any extreme measures when it comes to this recent uptick in COVID cases.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Okay, any last items? All right, well, then I'm gonna adjourn the meeting. I think we've been back and forth as to whether or not I have the power, but I think I do. And so the meeting is adjourned. Thank you everyone for attending. Thank you to the new board. Very excited to begin the transition. Have a good night, everyone.
Good evening.
See you guys on the 7th.
See ya.
7th.